Rhythm shooters no longer have an advantage in NBA 2K26. Thank the good Lord. Mike Wang was trying to force everybody into rhythm shooting. In NBA 2K26, every shooter is going to be on the same playing field. We about to get into all the details. If any of you guys are new here, consider dropping a like and a sub. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's get to the video.
It's AllCity. Load up that clip.
So Mike Wang introduces this new mechanic called rhythm shooting, and he gives rhythm shooters a much larger green window. Now, I understand Mike Wang attempting to create some sort of skill gap, and I also understand giving shooters a different option, an alternative to shooting. But if you make the green window for rhythm shooting double the size of the green window for button shooters, naturally, players are gonna gravitate towards what's gonna create more success. And it was noticeable on 2K25, rhythm shooters shot way better than button shooters. They just seem to have way more consistency. Well, the advantage that Mike Wang gave rhythm shooters in NBA 2K25, he's taking that all away in NBA 2K26, and he's putting everybody on the same playing field. Let's pull up this graphic from the test results the good folks over at NBA 2K Labs ran. And by the way, if you guys want to sign up for NBA 2K Labs Premium and get insider information preparing for NBA 2K26, use promo code AllCity and you can save yourself 20%. But look at how much larger the green window is, represented by the blue line, than for button shooters, represented by the red line. No wonder button shooters had so much trouble maintaining consistency on NBA 2K25. Imagine trying to hit your shifting green window, represented on the right side of the graphic, with that red line graphic green window representing button shooters. There's damn near no grace for slightly earlys or slightly lates, while rhythm shooters had all the grace in the world to mistime their shots or get slightly earlys and slightly lates. Not to mention, when shooting with the button on NBA 2K25, it was really green or miss. Button shooters were not allowed to hit whites, but for rhythm shooters, even when they had it on high risk, they were still able to make whites. Joint was just crazy. And as you guys hear, I'm speaking in past tense, because after receiving all this news about NBA 2K26, 2K25 could straight rest in peace. In my opinion, 25 was a bye year. For me, going down as one of the worst 2Ks in 2K history. Right up there and very easily interchangeable with NBA 2K18 and NBA 2K21. I'm definitely curious to know where you guys place NBA 2K25. Sound off, share your thoughts in the comments. Some of you guys are probably wondering, City, you probably just talking trash. Of course, rhythm shooters are gonna have an advantage. Well, sorry to tell you, that's a negative, Kochi. Straight from the horse's mouth, Mike Wang tells us there's no advantage for rhythm shooters. The question was, how does rhythm shooting and button shooting compare for NBA 2K26? Mike Wang responds saying the goal was to make both rhythm shooting and button shooting viable options, with neither having an advantage over the other. Mike Wang says, but they are very different mechanics, so it's not really possible to directly compare them. Some will be much better with the button and some will be much better with the stick. And he caps off this post, which was kind of suspect, but he caps off this post saying rhythm shooting is definitely more rewarding in my opinion though, with a smiley face. I really hope Mike Wang is not insinuating a larger green window for rhythm shooters in NBA 2K26 after he starts off his response saying the goal was to make both rhythm shooting and button shooting viable options, with neither having an advantage over the other. If rhythm shooters have a larger green window in NBA 2K26 like they did in NBA 2K25, then they have a clear as day advantage. And that would definitely contradict Mike Wang saying that neither would have an advantage over the other. And how about whites going in for rhythm shooters in NBA 2K25? Even if you have it on high risk while rhythm shooting, you can still white your shots. And button shooters weren't able to hit whites while playing on high risk. But there's some conflicting information about whites going in while rhythm shooting on NBA 2K26, even though they already announced green or miss shot timing is going to be universal. Let's start with this snippet from the courtside report. Green or miss shot timing. Green or miss shot timing will be universal in NBA 2K26 so that each mode has an even playing field. This means on higher difficulties, including most competitive multiplayer modes, only excellent timing green shots will go in. However, shot timing windows scale by difficulty and will be less forgiving in competitive modes like Proving Grounds and Pro-Am, but more forgiving in team control modes like My Team. So we already established that 2K said on higher difficulty modes is green or miss, excellent or nothing. But referencing this next snippet is where things get a little Confucius. I was having this conversation with Ridiculous during a recent live stream. The question asked, can you explain how the rhythm shooting works? Can I still green a shot with early or late timing? Mike Wang responding says, rhythm shooting is basically all about mastering your shot's unique tempo. There's still an ideal timing point for when to push the pro stick, but you don't have to green the timing to make the shot. And this has people thinking that you're going to be able to hit whites while rhythm shooting, even in the higher difficulty modes on NBA 2K26. Does this mean that timing is going to play less of a factor in rhythm shooting and it's really all about tempo, like they established in the first sentence on this description of rhythm shooting? Rhythm shooting is basically all about mastering your shot's unique tempo. Or do you guys think that this means whites will go in while rhythm shooting like they went in NBA 2K25, even though you were playing on high risk? It becomes even more confusing when Mike Wang caps this off by saying, however, the better you time the release, the more wiggle room you have to match the tempo. I don't think releases come before tempo. You need tempo to go into your release. Unless he's referring to the release of pressing down or the first direction you press and then going into the tempo push. And this is what makes me think this. It says the timing on the right stick movement and the speed of the stick throw will also affect how the animation plays out. So if you start the push early or throw the stick fast, you'll see the shooters rush the animation. If you delay your push, you'll see the player hold the set point and hang a bit before starting the shooting motion. And if you throw the stick too slowly, you'll see a lazier looking follow through. It's great if you need to intentionally rush your shot to beat a closeout or low shot clock, but your green tempo window, it'll be much smaller. And this had folks like Dimework wondering how long can you stay in the air before you start your push. You set up the first stage of rhythm shooting and then hang in the air, and sometimes you may want to start that push earlier or later, depending on the defender's placement. Dimework responding says, does this work in the same way for pull-up jump shots or leaners? So I can basically initiate a pull-up, have the defender jump, hang, and release on the way down pretty much? Mike Wang says yes, but the longer you hang, the more precise you have to be with your tempo to make the shot. He also says that they put a ceiling on how long you can hold the set point before the shooting motion automatically starts for visual reasons. So from what I gather so far, if I was to put this in layman's, let's take this from the perspective of moving shots. If I'm moving away from the defender and I flick my stick toward the direction that I'm moving, depending on the speed in which I flick that stick will determine how fast I go into a shooting animation. That would be just the first stage. Depending on how long you hold that stick in that direction will then determine how you need to flick the stick in the opposite direction. If you're holding longer, I imagine you gotta flick the stick faster to maintain tempo. And if you flick the stick slower in the opposite direction, then you're gonna get like a lazier shooting motion. And what 2K is saying that every instance is gonna dictate the animation that you see on screen. You could almost see this in like two parts. The first flick would have to do with your feet, and the flick back in the opposite direction, that'll control your upper body. In the first stage, flick fast to go into the jump shot quicker. Hold the stick there if you want to hang longer. Let it go if you want to start your tempo motion. That's pretty much what I gathered from what they're trying to describe here. If you guys developed a different translation, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Sound off in the comment section. For the sake of clarity, I'll cap off this video with this last snippet about rhythm shooting. It says, from the start, you'll see and feel the difference between early, late, slow, and fast releases. If you flick up early and rush your shot, you can do a quick release. If you flick up late and slowly, you'll see the effect with delayed pushing motion and lazier releases. The enhanced feature grants more freedom than ever before to decide what type of jump shot you want to take. Counter closeouts from a defender by initiating a quick release and intentionally rushing your shot, and still knock it down by executing excellent rhythm shooting tempo. Mike Wang caps off this statement by saying, overall, players who take advantage of the rhythm shooting mechanic will experience more responsive and authentic jump shots that simulate a true shooting motion. In my opinion, it sounds dope, it sounds hella creative, but if there's no advantages like whites going in or rhythm shooters having a larger green window, then me personally, I'm gonna stick to button shooting and going back to basketball strategy with strategically creating open shots rather than having to strategize how I move my stick. I really can't wait to see how this all turns out. You guys let me know, will you continue to rhythm shoot for NBA 2K26 or do you prefer button shooting? Sound off, share your thoughts in the comments. If any of you guys are new here and you want to stay up to date with the latest information on NBA 2K26, drop a like and drop a sub, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all. If you guys are tired of running with randoms and you're looking for players to run with on NBA 2K, come on out and join the AllCity 2K Discord. The link will be in the description below. Find players and get runs now. Drop a like and drop a sub on your way out. Leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Easy, y'all.